We are continuing our roundtable here with Ryan Lavner and Rex Hoggard. It is the hottest question in the game right now. Rex, in 48 hours, we will have our answer. It's crunch time for Captain Keegan. Is he going to call his own name among those 6 picks?
Anything he said last week at Eastlake, and we spoke with him every day pretty much after his round, and it seems like he waffled back and forth. There was a moment on Saturday night after just a phenomenal round. He called it his best round of the year on Saturday at Eastlake, that he said if he were to win on Sunday that it would influence his decision, which I thought was fascinating because he had contended all along that there was nothing really that was going to happen at the Tour Championship that was going to influence his decision one way or the other. If I had to look into the crystal ball and guess, no, he does not pick himself, because I think in his mind he feels like that could possibly hurt the team. It would split his attention. It would probably make the leadership of the team. And I know we've talked a lot about the idea that a vice captain, probably Jim Furyk, would step in, but still you have a continuity issue. And I think in Keegan's mind, he feels like that this is his opportunity to be a captain. I don't think he picks himself.
Lav, I'm kind of a similar thought. It'd be an ultimate baller move to know you can play, to know you're good enough to play, but to say, I got 12 guys that can do the job. I'm going to captain, which I was originally hired to do. What do you think? Is he going to make this thing too complicated? Has it already become too complicated for the Americans?
It's already become too complicated for the Americans. And keep in mind, I think in July 2024, when the PGA of America announced that Keegan Bradley was going to be the captain, there is tons of historical precedent that that year's U.S. Ryder Cup captain was going to fall out of form. There was no way he was going to be anywhere near the top 12 Americans at that time. It was going to be a moot point. All credit to Keegan Bradley for even making this a conversation. Where I land in this scenario, and I'm obviously disappointed that we're finally going to stop talking about this after 9 months incessantly for every single week. But the Keegan Bradley said last week to reporters at Eastlake that it's been really hard for him to detach himself from the situation over the past month, trying to get his game in gear for the FedEx Cup while also juggling all the responsibilities for being that year's Ryder Cup captain. How do you think that's going to be the week of the Ryder Cup, trying to get his game in gear probably for just 2 team matches if he were to play in addition to the singles, while juggling everything else that's going on? Keegan Bradley is not right now one of the 12 best Americans. He's not better than any of the other contenders that he would be picking over. It seems unnecessary to move the goalpost from where he was at the beginning of the year for a player who has so much baggage attached to him. It comes with too much risk, too much distraction, too much pressure to perform. It's just unnecessary is where I come down on it. It's unnecessary to do so when you have so many other built-in advantages for hosting a Ryder Cup at home.
I think there's a lot of argument and a lot of folks out there who would say that Keegan Bradley absolutely is one of the 12 best Americans right now. He's actually one of the 12 best players in the world. He's actually the 7th highest ranked American in the world. Rex, whether Keegan's on the team or not, who do you think is going to be the most shocking omission? Because this is kind of like, the Oscar nominations every year when there's as much conversation about who didn't get picked as who does get picked. And Keegan did say to Todd Lewis over the weekend that there are going to be tough conversations to be had, that there are guys who think they're going to be on that team are going to get a call telling them that they're not going to be on that team. Leaving Keegan aside, whether he'd be shocking as an inclusion or an omission, who do you think is going to be the shocking omission?
We talked about this on the podcast last night. I think it's going to be Ben Griffin, and I don't particularly agree with it because I think if you look at what he did in a very small window, keep in mind he virtually did nothing in the first year of qualifying. This is a 2-year qualifying cycle. He has gotten all of his points this year. He has won twice. Granted, one of those was a team event, which proved he's a really good teammate, and he also won at Colonial. He also has 2 top 10 finishes in the majors. He's come around as a player, and I think he certainly deserves a spot on that team when you start breaking it down. If you were to just take 1 through 12, he would absolutely be on that team. But I think when you start looking at the makeup and what Keegan and the rest of the American side are trying to do at Bethpage, I don't know if he fits in. Nothing to do with his game. I just think it has to do with who are you going to pair him with? How are you going to set up the pairings for Friday and Saturday? And do you want to put a rookie? You've already got a couple of them. Do you want to put another rookie into the mix that's going to be Bethpage?
Lav, I've got 3 locks right now. Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, and Patrick Cantlay. I think they are must-haves, major champs or / FedEx Cup champs in the case of Patrick Cantlay. Been there, done that, veteran, moxie. Even if Colin, for example, not playing to the height of his power, he's someone that you trust. Who are your absolute locks at this point? Are you with me, JT, Colin, and Patrick?
Yeah, I agree with those three. I would throw Cam Young into that mix as well. Big hitter, knows the golf course, is a perfect fit for that type of golf course, a big ballpark at Bethpage Black. He has done exactly what you want to see over the past month and a half. Won his first tournament, played consistently well throughout the FedEx Cup playoffs, T12 or better in all 3 playoff events. It just seems like he should be on his first Ryder Cup team as well. Sam Burns, I think, really benefited himself over the postseason as well. If you're the Team USA leadership, you wanted him to do something over these last couple of weeks, and he has done that with top 7s in the last 2 events as well. I'm with Rex. I think Ben Griffin is probably the U.S. player who is feeling the most heat at this point, but I think it'd be a travesty if he was left off. He has done exactly what you want over the course of this season. More than 1,000 points earned, Ben Griffin over Keegan Bradley, with, as Rex pointed out, accumulating almost all of his points from the 2025 season. He's been one of the most consistent contenders throughout the tour season, one of the breakout stars, and he just has so much positive energy, enthusiasm, passion. I really feel like he could be a lightning rod for this American team if he were chosen by Keegan Bradley.
Rex, did anything change this weekend for Luke Donald? I mean, obviously, Rasmus Højgaard clinched the last place on points on the European side, which now means Shane Lowry, who had that spot, will require a captain's pick. But did that really change anything? Because even if Shane had kept it, wasn't Rasmus a likely pick for him?
I would have thought so. And look, even Shane sort of said it. He tried to do the company line and say that however this week plays out, he was actually a little surprised he wasn't getting points playing in the Tour Championship. It's just the way the European qualifying system worked. But he tried to do the right thing and say that he hopes to get the phone call from Luke Donald. But we all know he's going to be on that team. And no, I think the only thing that changed is what initial you're going to put in front of the Højgaard, because that's the only thing. We just ended up with a different twin. The DNA of the entire team stays the same. You don't have to change the nameplates on any of the lockers inside the clubhouse. And look, if you're Luke Donald, you're sleeping so well at night. We just brought up his name and we talked endlessly about all of the tough decisions that Keegan Bradley has. Should he pick himself? Should he pick Ben Griffin? My guess is he has gotten no sleep over the last few weeks. Luke Donald must be just sleeping like a baby right now.
And Keegan Bradley's tough decision coming 11 a.m. Eastern Time Wednesday on Golf Channel, his 6 captain's picks. Rex and Lav, thank you so much.